What if you're so accustomed to your suffering? You're so used to your discomfort that it's actually kind of like an addiction. What if you're actually addicted to your suffering, to your discomfort, to your pain, to your being stuck? And it may have various names, like you might know that as being comfortable, being okay, being in your comfort zone. But what if it's far more sinister than that? What if it's actually an addiction to temporary comfort? And you're so unable to give up that comfort of just getting by. You're so scared of, averse to, avoidant of the effort it takes to dig yourself out of that hole, that you actually won't make any moves to get out of where you are. What if you can't even tell that you're slowly boiling to death? Because for the moment, 1 degree worse, 1 degree more of suffering, you don't notice it until it piles up. What if it's actually so bad that you're stuck in your comfort zone, but you can't even tell? What if your comfort zone is actually your secret addiction? Like, why are you still there? Why are you doing that? Why are you still doing the same thing that doesn't get you any further off? Why is just getting by okay? Why is just doing enough to make it from day to day okay? Is it because it hasn't been that bad? Is it because you haven't suffered enough? Is it because the losses aren't so bad that you can take them? Is it because the people around you haven't suffered enough by your inability to do more than you're doing? Is that why you're tolerating it? Is that why you're just letting your days bleed by? There's this quote by Guy Gurdjieff that goes, it is very difficult also to sacrifice one's suffering. A man will renounce any pleasures you like, but he won't. He will not give up his suffering. That's a strange quote. But think of how many times and for how long you've held on to how you are, even if it no longer serves you nor your loved ones well. But why would we do that, really? Well, think about it. You're comfortable. You're kind of doing okay. It would seem that way, right? It's fairly okay for now, so maybe you're not just tolerating it, but that little pleasure right now is so much tastier. That the pleasure of not doing anything is so much better. That micro pleasure of not doing anything is so much better than the struggle you're going to have to go through, than the effort you're going to have to put in to do something that will really serve you long term. I mean, it'll get you out of the hellhole you're in, and you won't have to have the agitation of not knowing how you're going to do tomorrow. But it just seems like so much work right now. And that's one of the problems with how we're built. Our cognitive biases, our basic survival programming makes sure that we're compelled to do what it takes to survive, but not really more than that. But if you think about how society's progressed, how people start to do better, how people get to be able to take care of other people, all of that is hinged on more long-term thinking. It's hinged on the discomfort that comes with pushing forward, and the rewards that will come only so much later when they've compounded into something visible, tangible. Meanwhile, there's the clearly visible, palpable comfort of being sort of kind of okay for now where you are. I mean, dinosaurs aren't trying to kill you, and that's good enough. But what if what it really is we've become okay with stagnation, with suffering? What if we've gotten okay with setting things aside, with procrastinating, with just taking it fairly easy because, well, that's just more satisfyingly comfortable, and in fact minorly pleasurable, and kind of in that way addictive compared to what we'd have to do to break out of the crap hole we're in. So, what now? What do we do about this slow boil, about this degree by degree suffering that we can't even see? What can we do about the pain we're inflicting on ourselves? What can we do about this internal oppression? I mean, it's easy to notice when it's other people making our lives difficult, but when it's us making our own lives difficult, how incredibly blind we are, how incredibly silly we've become to not notice how we're actually slowly bringing ourselves to a boil just because right now it feels kind of comfortable. And there's something else too. When you settle into what you're settling for at the moment, the sort of comfortable survival of now, you know, your cognitive biases, your mind thinks that we're kind of okay, and you emotionally feel that because that's what you've gotten accustomed to. So in a weird way, you're agreeing with all sides of yourself. Just because your conscious mind and an unconscious mind, your emotional mind and your thinking logically about just the moment agree with each other. It's like you have full agreement by just ignoring the consequences that this will have for your future self. You are so willing to sit through pain that is completely unnecessary. You take on the role of the unnecessary sufferer merely because you can't see further than where you're at. And that settling, that falling into that comfort zone, that just because that's all you have, that minor win of barely surviving, that becomes your high. That becomes your hit. Your okay for now becomes your good. Your suffering becomes your sanctuary. You're okay with it, even though you could be so much better. You could do so much more.